Welcome to Darryl Company. Today's guest is our very own Bob Murray. Bob is the Director of Foreign Exchange here at Brookline Bank. He has been in the FX business for over 30 years and has a wealth of knowledge to share with us. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you, Darryl, and thank you for having me.
So, Bob, the world's economy is much more globally linked than ever. How has that affected the local businesses we serve?
In many ways, and I think it's in ways that our companies and customers don't realize. But just to give you a sense of the size of the growth of international business in the past 10 years, volumes in daily foreign exchange transactions have increased 40% over 10 years ago. So in 2010, the World Bank estimated that daily foreign exchange transaction volume was $4 trillion. Today, it's $6 trillion. So it is again, that's daily, not yearly. So just imagine a $6 trillion a day flow. And I think that kind of scares people, and they really can't quite understand the number. But if you take a step back, that means that more and more companies are affected by the globalization of the economy. You know, whether it's supply chain, selling or buying internationally, even the smallest of items, it does have an effect on their business.
Those are huge numbers. And so it seems to me that the economy is shifting that way to be more global, as we already said. And, you know, if the businesses are conducting more of their commerce overseas, how do they go about making payments there?
Well, in various ways. And traditionally, it's been their financial institution. Since 2008 and some of the financial deregulation, they've developed some fintechs, money service bureaus that have stepped in to fill some of the voids of the banks. But that's actually been a good thing for the banks because it's forced us to become more competitive, and it's forced us to improve our services to be able to compete with the fintech disruptors, as they're called. But you know, for most of our clients, their first avenue would be to be sending a foreign wire or receiving a foreign wire, and most often that's in international USD. So,
you know, should these businesses be making their payments in US dollars, or is it better for them to pay with local currency?
Most definitely in local currency. The difference is if you're invoiced or selling abroad, usually the price of invoicing is increased or decreased by 5% because the other counterparty is building in a buffer for the foreign exchange volatility, which has been, you know, historically placed around 5%. The volatility in FX markets has decreased over time. With that $6 trillion, it kind of, you know, depresses the volatility of the currency markets. So basically, you know, especially in these days of everybody's talking about inflation and cost of goods. Now, if a company can decrease their cost of goods or increase their revenue stream by 5%, that's certainly something that they should look into.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like these companies, if you're paying for something overseas and you need an invoice, they're just marking it up a little to make sure that they're getting at least the minimum amount they want. So, you know, maybe do you think businesses should be asking for their quotes or their costs in the local currency and then let us do the rest?
Most certainly. You know, the way that the markets have evolved and the transparency of pricing and the ease of transacting business, it used to be a little bit more of a hassle. So say, for example, business banking clients, they would have to have gone into the branch to initiate their wires or gone to their RMs to send a payment instruction. That's old school. Today, it's basically, you know, log in, enter your conversion amount, put in your payment information. The payment goes out, and it's usually there in the next business day of payments. Even if you think back to the old definition of spot, which was 2 days delivery, which gave banks time to to formulate the SWIFTs and send out the payments and debit accounts. That's really all done instantaneously now. And I would say 90% of our international currency payments are made on next day value. So because you're able to pay your supplier more quickly, you can even get a better pricing.
You know, the whole FX business seems a little bit complicated, but I think what you're telling me is that technology is making things a lot simpler today and more accessible to small businesses. Do you think that's really the case?
Oh, absolutely, Darryl. Technology that has been put into the international payment systems by the industry in and of itself has really demystified the process for even the smallest of users.
Bob, thanks for joining me on Darryl and Company.
Thank you for having me, Darryl.
And thanks to all of you for watching.